Okay, students, now we'll have discussion on three shunt, okay, feedback amplifier. So what are the characteristics of the voltage amplifier or a series shunt amplifier? So here we are having input voltage, input as a info voltage signal only. So input will be voltage signal, output will be voltage signal, and also this amplifier is considered to be a voltage control voltage source. Okay, so you are controlling the input voltage to have the control output voltage. Clear? So voltage sampling, how we are achieving this voltage amplifier by sampling the voltage, that is by taking the voltage from the output and by mixing it. Okay, at the input, that is the voltage mixing. So it is a voltage sampling and voltage mixing. Okay, and also, so the thing is that main benefit of using this voltage amplifier, that it improves the input impedance and output impedance. So what is the meaning of improvement? We know that for a operational amplifier, the input resistance should be infinite or it should be high. So if you would have feedback, negative feedback, then it will increase the input impedance, and also the same time it will decrease the output impedance. This voltage amplifier negative feedback is also you know that it is a series shunt feedback. Okay, amplifier. These are the things. It's the series shunt feedback topology. Already you have seen this. So this is the voltage source. This is the source resistance. This is the VF is equal to beta times V naught. Then we are having load resistance at VA. So one equivalent example, one related example with this series shunt feedback topology of an amplifier has been given right hand side of your PPT here. This is, you can consider this is an example. This is actually a series shunt feedback amplifier. This is an example of a series shunt feedback amplifier. So now see in this circuit diagram, you will see left hand side actually, like it represents ideal structure of a series shunt feedback amplifier. It represents the ideal structure of a series shunt feedback amplifier, where it consists of a unilateral open loop amplifier having a gain A, and then also a beta circuit network. Okay, that's having the beta, all those things. So you can see this block actually a beta circuit. Okay, so here the input to that is beta circuit is B naught and output is B naught. Okay, this is all things we know that. So now equivalent to this circuit, the more simplified the equivalent circuit diagram is shown here. More simplified circuit diagram is shown here. As you can see, the right hand shows the equivalent circuit model of the series shunt feedback amplifier. Okay, clear? Now let us see different signals. So V naught is equal to AVI, no issue. Then VF is equal to beta V naught. It is very much clear. Then Vi is equal to Vs minus Vf. How? So you can see here at this point, so you can see that in this loop, Vs is equal to Vf plus Vi. Vs is equal to Vf plus Vi. I will solve for Vi, you will get Vs minus Vf. Okay. The third relation, and the fourth relation is the AF overall voltage gain, that is V naught by Vs. We know that it will be A by 1 plus A beta, where is the amplifier gain, forward gain, and beta is the beta feedback gain. Okay, clear? And also VA by VI. VA by VI is nothing but A beta equals to L. So if you will find that VA by VI, you end up having the relation A into beta, is the loop in. Okay. And also VI by VS. VI by VS will be 1 by 1 plus A beta. VI by VS, that is this signal VI divided by VS, you solve it, you will get 1 by 1 plus A beta. Clear? Now we will see what happens if we have negative feedback in a voltage amplifier or a series shunt feedback amplifier. Now see, this is the equivalent circuit model. So here, if what is RIF, input resistance RIF. Okay, so IF will represent the feedback. F suffix stands for feedback, I for input. So RIF will be equal to PS by II. So here RIF will be equal to VS by II. Now II will be equal to VI by RI. Clear? So II will be equal to VI by RI, and therefore if you substitute this II value there, you will get RIF VS by VI into RI. So RIF will be VS by Vi into Ri. Clear? Also, you know that Vi is equal to, also you know that Vi is equal to 1 by 1 plus A beta into Vs. You just cleared in the previous slide. So if you substitute this value of Vy here in this equation, then you will end up in having the relation Rif is equal to 1 plus A beta into Ri. That means your input resistance is equal to Ri times 1 plus A beta. That means we can conclude that the negative feedback, if you will have this in negative feedback, increases the input resistance by a factor equal to the amount of feedback. This equals so the input resistance actually, if you're having a feedback, it gets increased by a factor of 1 plus A beta. So here we can see that if you're having a negative feedback, then the input resistance of the feedback is getting increased by a factor of 1 plus A beta. Okay. Similarly, we analyze the output impedance. So how we can do so? So to find the output impedance, first you have to short circuit the VS source. Okay. You have to remove the source and make it short circuit, as you can see here. S and S dash has been shorted. Okay. Now here also, yeah, you remove the RL from here, remove the load resistance, and then you add a VX. You add a VX to find this is a test voltage to get a current IX. Okay. So at the output ROS, that is output resistance of the feedback, will be VX by IX. Clear? It will be equal to VX by IX. So this is the output resistance. Now, if you write a KVL in this loop here, if you write a KVL in this loop, then what equation you will get? You will get Vx minus Ix into R naught minus AVI is equal to 0, or you will get AX into R naught is equal to Vx minus A into Vi, or you can find Ix is equal to Vx minus AVI by R naught. So this value for Ix is equal you're getting if you use the KVL equation in this loop. Okay, so Ax is equal to Vx minus AVI. Now, all of you see here, since at the input side there is no Vs, Vs is not there. We know that the Vs is equal to Vi plus Vf. Since there is no Vs, so this is 0. So we will have the relation as 0 is equal to Vi plus Vf, or uh, Vi will be equal to minus Vf, or Vf is equal to minus Vi. So in this relation, actually, since there is the input voltage source as we shorted, so Vi will be equal to minus Vf, or Vf is equal to minus Vi. So if you substitute this value here in and the Vi is equal to minus Vf, then you will have the current as Ix is equal to Vx plus AVF by R naught. Clear? Now also, you know that Vf is equal to VVX. VVX. The beta is the beta gain of the feedback network, and X is the voltage that we are getting. So okay, the Vf is equal to this. Vf is the output voltage of the feedback network, is equal to beta times Vx. Now if you substitute the Vx here, the value in this equation, you will end up having the equation of Ix is equal to Vx and Vx into 1 plus A beta divided by R naught, divided by R naught. Okay, so you are having this Ix. Now ROF, you know that ROF, if you find ROF from RO, how we can do so? Then because then ROF will be equal to R naught divided by 1 plus A beta. Then R naught will be then R naught in so clear. So, okay, so now ROF is equal to R naught divided by 1 plus A beta. So, from where we are getting this relation? Okay, so first thing is that ROF. So, take this here, ROF, take this one. So, ROF is equal to Vx by Ix. Now, you are having the value of Vx, and also you are having the value of Ix here. Okay, now substitute the value of Ix in this equation. Substitute the value of Ix in this equation. Ultimately, you'll get ROF as R naught divided by 1 plus A beta. So you can see that their output resistance is getting decreased by a factor of 1 plus A beta. So we can comment that the negative feedback reduces the output resistance by a factor equal to the amount of feedback, okay, 1 plus A beta. And in general, it can be represented as ZOF. So in general, so the instead of ROF, it can be of a capacitive or any other a passive component. So that impedance has been represented by Z, okay. And so in a generalized manner, representing the R by Z, so we can rewrite this equation as ZOF, okay. The output impedance of a feedback system is equal to ZO divided by 1 plus A beta. So here, this is the general representation. So we have seen after the analysis that if we have a negative feedback for a solution feedback amplifier or a voltage amplifier, in that case, it improves the input and output resistance. It improves the input resistance by increasing by a factor of 1 plus A beta, and it decreases the output, improves the output resistance by decreasing it by a factor of 1 plus A beta. Yeah. So, till now, what we have discussed was the ideal situation uh, for a voltage amplifier. Okay, that is for a series and feedback amplifier or a series. It's an ideal network for a series and feedback amplifier. Now we are going to see some practicality that practical issues. Okay, so actually we know that the shunt feedback amplifier uh, doesn't work as an ideal voltage control source. The reason being that is the loading effect. So from where we are getting the loading effect due to the resistive type of feedback we are having. Since we are having the resistive feedback, so loading effect is there, and that in turn is going to affect the value of A, Ri, and R naught. So we will see how it is going to affect those values. Okay, that has been shown in this circuit diagram. Actually, it represents a series shunt or a voltage amplifier, a negative feedback amplifier. So here you can have this is R in, this is RIF. Okay, at this point we can have R in. This is showing the RIF. This is R out and this is ROF. Okay, so here what is that? Why in practical what factor has to be considered that feedback network is not an ideal voltage control source. It doesn't behave like an ideal voltage control voltage source. Rather, it is having some loading effect. So okay, so for carrying this analysis, some assumption is made, which has been pointed here. It amplifies unilateral, and the RS and RLs can be considered as a lumped parameter for consider with a amplifier as lumped parameters. Then forward transmission of the feedback is minimal to the basic amplifier. So this is assumption that is there. Okay, then only be available to do the analysis. Then feedback will be replaced with HF parameter models. So just for your recap, just see the representation of hybrid parameters, how we can define that. This is the two-port network, and we're having in voltage and VI and II, and the input port and V2 and I2 at the output port. So here, this matrix equation, from this matrix equation, we can have the definition of different hybrid parameters, that is H11, H12, H21, and H22. That is H11 is equal to V1 by I1, at V2 is equal to 0, H12 is equal to V2, V1 by V2, at I1 is equal to 0, H21 will be I2 by I1, at V2 is equal to 0, and H22 will be I2 by V2 at I1 is equal to 0. So this, you have already know these things, and if you want to again revise this topic, then refer to the appendix B of your textbook, Sutherland Smith, that is given again discussed. Hybrid parameter is you are having the discussion, you can go through that. Okay. Now come to the analysis, practical analysis. So that now the feedback network that we are having, see. So we have the feedback network here. You are having that network has been replaced by the hybrid parameters. If you will do so, then you will have this circuit diagram. You will have this circuit diagram. Okay. So here you'll be having H22, and here you'll be having H21 I1. Okay, this is a V2, and here you'll be having H11 and H12 V2. The thing is that here you can see H21 is neglected. Why? The thing is that because uh, examination of the circuit reveals that H21I1 represents the forward transmission of the feedback network. So it represents the forward transmission, and it is usually passive, and it's passive, so its forward transmission can be neglected in comparison to much larger forward transmission of the amplifier. Okay, that is why H21 I1 is neglected here. So if you remove this H21 I1, open it, so it will get open. Okay, so you can see there is no H1 H21 I1, and also now when you remove that, what are the entities that will be left at the feedback network? You will be having H22, then you will be having H12 V2, and you will be having H11. Now you can see this H21 and RL are connected in parallel, because see this terminal and this terminal of H2, they are connected in the same point, and this terminal of RL and this terminal of H22 is also connected to the same common point. So we can take this H2 and connect here. Okay, likewise, there's no so by doing so there will be no change in the circuit. Similarly, we can shift H1 here from here to here. If we will do so, then we will able to get this circuit diagram, able to get this simplified circuit diagram, from where we can infer the value of beta. So from here, so this is the for beta network. This is the V naught is the input voltage, and the output we are having H1 V naught. That means H12 is actually the beta. So beta will be equal to H12. That will be equal to V1 by V2 at I1 is equal to 0. From here, we can have the value of beta. What is the procedure to find A of the circuit? A means gain of the circuit. So in this case, what is the A? So actually, in this case, what is the A? So in the voltage amplifier, no. So the A is the gain, voltage gain. Clear? So the voltage gain will be V naught by VA. The voltage gain not be V naught by VA. For this, we need to have the value of R11 and all those things. So now, how to find the value of R11 here? So in this feedback network, if you take this feedback network, you short circuit this one, two terminals. Okay, short circuit this two. Again, I will show. So here this is considered as a 2. This is a 2 and this is a 1. Okay. This side has been considered 2 and this side has been considered 1. So if you want to have the value of R11, then what we need to do? We need to short circuit the terminals, that is that 2. Okay, short circuit, and then you find the resistance from this side, that is given, that will give R1. Similarly, to find R22, you open both the terminals 1 and 2, and then you find R22, and you can find value, and then you can have the gain V naught by VI, V naught by VI, and you can have the gain. Similarly, how to find the value beta? So beta is equal to VF by V naught. Beta is equal to VF by V naught at I is equal to 0. So here you will have VF from 1. Okay, VF you know, and V naught also, yeah, voltage you know. So that if you that by considering I is equal to 0, that means you have to short the I. Okay. In this way, you can find the gain and also the feed, that is A, and also the beta, that is from the network. So using the help of every parameter. So these are some definitions. So Ri and R naught are the input and the output resistances respectively of the A circuit amplifier circuit. RIF and RF are the input and output resistance respectively of the feedback amplifier, including RL and RS. Okay. So RIF you can find as Rin plus RS. Here you can see. So RIF is equal to Rin plus RS. You will see here, you will be having a input resistance here. This is Rin by RS, and R naught will be R22 plus RL with R out parallel RL. R out parallel RL. Okay. Okay, now we shall start series feedback amplifier. Okay. So actually, series is a configuration we have in transconductance amplifier, where the input will be voltage signal and the output will be current signal. That means um, in current sampling, voltage mixing signal. Clear? So here we'll have we'll tap the current signal from the from the output, and it will give the feedback to input, or it will be mixed, okay, to the input in its voltage form. Clear? So it is this configuration is considered to be a voltage controlled current source. Now again, I want to make a note here. This scenario is applicable. That is, voltage control current source is only applicable if you are having an ideal case. For practical scenario, it will be different. So in ideal case, this transconductance feedback amplifier works as a voltage controlled current source. Okay, then current sampling and voltage mixing is the best suited structure. I already told you. Now again, likewise we have seen in a voltage amplifier or a series shunt amplifier. This also improves the impedance and output impedance. So in this transconductance amplifier or series amplifier, we'll be seeing that how we can have improvement. So improvement means in this configuration, both the input and the output resistance should be infinite, or it should be high. Okay, in practicality, it should be high. Clear? So it is also known as series feedback amplifier that has been shown. Okay. Now this is the series feedback topology. You can see there from the output we are tapping the current signal and we are giving the input, okay, and the mixing at the in voltage, okay, mixing at the input side using a voltage VF. Clear? So now is the amplifier of this gain. A is the gain of this amplifier of a transconductance amplifier. So we can write A is equal to I naught by VI, I naught by VI. So this is I naught and this is VI. Okay, this is the gain of this transconductance amplifier. Feedback factor. So here feedback factor. Here you can see what is the input to this feedback block. Here the input is I naught, current I naught, and the output we're having is beta I naught as beta I naught. That means the VF here is beta I naught. So beta will be equal to, or we can write VF as beta I naught, or beta is equal to VF by I naught. Clear? Or V is equal to Vf by I naught. This is the feedback factor. Now let us see this expression Vi is equal to Vs plus Vf. If you will see this input side, we can easily deduce using KVL that Vs is equal to Vf plus Vi. Clear? So this voltage Vs is will be equal to the summation of Vi plus Vf. Now if you will find Vi from there, we can write Vi is equal to Vs minus Vi. Similarly, I naught will be A into Vs minus Vf by why? Because I naught is equal to A into Vi and Vi is equal to Vs minus Vf. So if we substitute Vi value Vs, that is the Vs minus Vf in this equation, we'll end up in having the I naught. Sorry, we'll end up in having the I naught as A into Vs minus Vf. Clear? Now the transconductance. With feedback, the overall gain AF is known as I naught by VF. It will be I naught by VF, that is A by 1 plus A beta. Clear? Now see, we'll analyze the input and output impedance for this case, how it is going to improve. So likewise, we have seen in the series shunt configuration or in the voltage amplifier, same analysis or same method will adopt. Okay, in doing so, we'll end up in having the RIF as 1 plus A beta RI. If you'll do that, you will finally get the RIF as 1 plus A beta RI. That means what is RIF? RIF is the input resistance of the feedback network, overall feedback network, okay, feedback, negative feedback network. So you can see that in that scenario, when you are having a negative feedback system, the input resistance is getting increased by a factor of 1 plus A beta. So earlier without feedback, it was Ri. Now after the feedback, now it has increased to a factor of 1 plus A beta, because the term A1 plus A beta is multiplied by the Ri. Clear? Or in more general, if you represent the R with Z, okay, so we know that there is a pure resistance. If there is not a pure resistance, then it will have impedance. Then for that kind of circuit, we can represent R by Z. So this we can write, instead of R, we can write Z, and we can generalize this equation here. This derivation is with respect to input impedance. So in this manner, actually for this transconductance amplifier, the input side, the resistance should be high, so it is getting increased. Clear? So it is improving the gain of the feedback amplifier. Clear? It is improving the input resistance of the feedback amplifier. Clear? So now come to the output impedance. Here output impedance, again you will see that this equation, all those things hold true. We have seen there earlier while doing the analysis. Okay, again I will tell you ROF will be V by Ix. Okay, and Ix will be V by R not into A by. If you use the KBL, if you lose the KBL in this loop, then in the all they will get all these equations. Okay, so ultimately at the end you will get ROF is equal to RO into 1 plus A beta. Now again you can see that at the output side also, if you're having the negative feedback, then the output feedback resistance is getting increased by a factor of 1 plus A beta here also. That means that if without of feedback you're having the output resistance as R naught, but with the feedback you're having the resistance R naught multiplied by 1 plus A beta. Clear? So here we're also having the improvement. Now this is a practical scenario. So here the practical scenario, actually, again, since due to the resistive feedback network, again load will be there. So actually, in practical, it won't work as a voltage control current source. Clear? So now what we can do, you can see this circuit diagram. This is a practical representation of the cross conductance amplifier. Now, in the case of voltage amplifier, we use S parameters in the feedback network to represent the feedback network. But here we will be using the Z parameters. Again, I will tell you that the Z parameters has been discussed in Appendix B of your textbook. Okay, so Smith, you can go and you can have a revision. Okay, if you are not available at this moment, okay, then you can go and have the revision. Now again, if you will do so, so you will have these parameters. This is Z11, this is Z12, this is I2, this is Z21, this is I1, and this is Z22. Clear? It's clear? So here I will improve. So here this way you can see that this is Z11, Z12, I2, and this is Z21 into I1, and this is Z22. Now again, this voltage source, because this is a transmission voltage, so this is transmission of this feedback network, that is Z21 is actually very smaller than Z12. Okay, so in this case what we can neglect this Z21 element. So what is the Z21 element? Z21 element here is the voltage source. So if you want to remove the voltage source, then what we generally do, we replace that by short circuiting. Okay, so here we have done the short circuiting. If you remove the Z21, because it has been assumed that the Z21 is very less than Z12. So we will be removing Z12, and instead of Z12 we will short circuit the terminal. So we end up in having the component only Z11, Z12 I2, and the Z22. Now you can see this from this diagram. We can have this circuit diagram where this Z22 has been shifted here, and also Z11 has been shifted here. So if we'll do so, actually if you'll just, you can see this is just, we have changed the place, but the connection is same, so this is not going to affect the circuit in any manner. So here now we can have the feedback network where we can find the beta of the circuit. We can find the beta of the circuit. So if you see, this is the input to the beta network is I naught, and the output is Z12 I naught. Hence, the beta factor, the beta of the circuit will be Z12. Clear? Then this is the procedure to analyze. Okay, so to find the A of circuit. Okay, the gain of the transconductance. How we can find here by I naught by Vi dash, I naught dash by Vi dash, where I naught dash is the this current and Vi dash is the this voltage. Clear? Now in doing so, we need to have the value of R11, which can be found using this manner by open circuiting the output and input terminal of the feedback network is 1 and 2, and then you find the R1. Similarly, you can find the R12. Clear? So in this manner, if you have those all those value, and then you can find the value of Vi, and then you can find the value I naught, and say, and then that ultimately you can have the value of gain, transconductance gain. Clear? Clear? Similarly, you can have the value of beta here. So beta can be defined as
or can be written as V f dash divided by I o dash. Okay, at I2 is at I1 is equal to 0 at I1 is equal to 0 at I1 is equal to 0. So from this circuit diagram you can obtain the value of beta for this transconductance amplifier. Clear? Okay, moving forward, we will now have the analysis for shunt feedback amplifier. Okay, so let's see. This is called a trans resistant amplifier. So shunt means that the output and input both are the connection with of shunt type. Okay, that means here we are having input as a current signal, output as a voltage signal. That's why it is called a trans resistance amplifier. And that means output means so you'll be sampling the voltage sampling and the mixing the current mixing. So voltage sampling and the current mixing is the best circuit structure. Already we know that it improves the input impedance and output impedance. Again, how? We'll see shunt feedback. This is all those things we know that. Okay. Now this one figure here, this one represents the shunt feedback topology. Shunt feedback topology. Clear? So this is the circuit diagram actually. We are having for shunt feedback topology where we are having the gain of the trans resistance that is given as V naught by Vi. So resistance, output voltage by input current. V naught by Vi. Feedback factor that is beta is given by IF by V naught. IF by V naught. Similarly, you will having II input current as IS minus IF. I is equal to IS minus IF. Also, the trans resistance with feedback will be AF. So the overall gain of the trans resistance with feedback will be AF is equal to V naught by IS. That will be equal to A by 1 plus A beta. Clear? The input resistance. Actually, for a trans resistance type of amplifier, the input resistance should be low and the output resistance should be also low. So if you see that without feedback, we are having the trans resistance as without feedback, we are having the input resistance as I. But whenever you are implementing or using a feedback configuration, negative feedback, in that case, the resistance is getting decreased by a factor of 1 plus A beta. You can see that. Okay. So the resistance, input resistance in feedback configuration is actually got, it gets reduced by a factor of 1 plus A beta. Okay. So without feedback, it is Ri, but with feedback, it is Ri divided by 1 plus A beta. So there is an improvement in the input resistance. Clear? Similarly, output resistance also should be smaller. So again, you can say that the output resistance for feedback configuration, it gets reduced by a factor of 1 plus A beta. So here you can see the RO is the resistance, output resistance without negative feedback, and ROF the output resistance when we consider negative feedback. So the relation between ROF and RO is such that ROF is actually the value of RO only, but it gets reduced by a factor of 1 plus A beta. Here are some examples of the uh, shunt resist amplifier. So here we're having RF, RS, and VS. So if you use the Nortonize the circuit, if you will use the Norton's theorem at the input side, then we can represent this voltage source by a current, um, by current, and in parallel we should have a resistance RS. Okay, that's why this VS can be represented as voltage source VS by RS with resistance in parallel with the voltage source. With this, sorry, in parallel with the current source. Clear? So this is a practical scenario. Again, you are having a practical scenario. Is you know that this is due to the loading effect of the feedback. So in that case, RIN will be different and R will be also different. It won't be a exact value. So RIN, if you will find that it will be a it will be equal to RIN will be equal to 1 by RIF minus 1 by RS. Clear? And similarly, you will have R out, it will be equal to 1 by 1 plus ROF minus 1 by RL. So that is the value of R in and R out in if we extend our analysis to practical scenario. Clear? So this is the summary. So again, here in this summary, you have been shown how to find R11, R22 exactly, and then what is the how to find the gain A, that is V naught dash by I dash. Okay, so here you can see the end of this circuit diagram. What is V naught dash and what is I dash? So here this one is V naught dash and this is I dash. Clear? Okay. And similarly, you can have the beta from this circuit diagram. For beta, you have to from the feedback network. You from the port side one. From the side one, you short circuit the this one port port one, and at the side two, you connect with V or you can see. If you do so, then you will have the value of beta. Beta will be IF dash divided by VO dash. That V1 is equal to 0. Clear? Now, similarly, very quickly we'll go through the shunt series or a current shunt. Okay. So this is a current amplifier and a feedback file amplifier. So actually here in both the case, input and output both will be current signal. Both will be current signal. So current sampling and current mixing is the best suited structure for this amplifier. It improves the again here it improves the input and output impedance. Okay. So shunt series topology you just see here. Shunt series topology just see here. So this is the equivalent circuit model for the shunt series, where the overall gain, current gain is equal to I naught as output current by input current. Okay. Then similarly, we can have feedback factor beta. Beta will be IF by I naught. So here the current following is IF, and here is the current I naught. So beta will be IF by I naught, because I naught is the input and IF is the output. Clear? I is equal to IS minus IF. Clear? And current gain with feedback will be AF is equal to here it will be AF is equal to V naught by IS. So I think this equation is wrong actually. It should be AF should be equal to I naught by IS. I naught by IS. Here instead of V naught it should be I naught. Okay. So make changes. Instead of V naught it should be I naught. So I naught by IS is equal to 1 A by 1 plus A beta. Clear? Come to the resistance. And so what will happen to the resistance when we use a negative feedback in current amplifier? Okay, that is shunt series feedback topology. So input resistance actually it will again get decreased by a factor of 1 plus A beta. So in that case, if you are not using negative feedback, then in that case the input resistance is Ri. But if you use the negative feedback, then the resistance gets decreased by a factor of 1 plus 1 A beta. Okay, thus by improving the input resistance. Okay, clear? Because we know that in this amplifier it is ideal to have a less resistance. As even at the output, you're having the ROF is equal to R naught into 1 plus A beta. So that output, the resistance should be high in this type of amplifier. You can see that the output resistance in the feedback case is getting amplified by a gain of 1 plus A beta here. Okay, yeah. Again comes the practical scenario. Practical scenario actually due to the resistive network of a feedback amplifier that you are loading. So in that case, actually your input and output will not be will not be the same what we have seen in for the ideal case. In the practical scenario, it will change. So what will be its value in this practical scenario? RIN will be 1 by RIF minus 1 by RS, and ROT will be ROF minus RL. Clear? So these are the values you should be knowing and remembering. So this is summary for this current amplifier. Okay, so here I have to know this how this is the method to find R11 and R12, and then you can find again A. So if you know the R1 and R1 and R22, then you can find the value of I dash and I naught dash. Hence you once you get those value of I dash and I naught dash, easily you can get the gain of the amplifier. That will be I naught dash by I dash. Okay. Also beta from this feedback network, this side one you have to short circuit, and side two you will have a that output current of the this overall. Okay, I naught. So beta will be IF dash by IO dash. Okay, at V1 is equal to 0. If you do so, you will get the value of beta. Yeah. So this slides actually represents the some summary of all the different type of topology. Okay, that means what is the input signal, what is the output signal, then what is the gain, what is then how the output impedance and input impedance is getting affected. In all those four topology, it is been summarized in a single table. You can see here. So feedback amplifier Series shunt. Okay, series shunt case here the voltage amplifier is called a voltage amplifier. That means both the output signal will be having voltage, input signal also having will be voltage. You can see also Xi is voltage and only X naught is also voltage. XF is also voltage and XVV is also voltage. So here gain will be amplifier gain will be V naught by Vi, beta gain will be Vf by V naught, and the overall gain of the negative feedback system will be V naught by Vs. The source should be Thevenin, okay, and this is a loading feedback network is obtained. Okay, this one is given. Actually, this method actually this one is the method to obtain R1 and R12. Okay, R1 and R12, all those things. And in this case, your input resistance will will be increased by a gain of 1 plus a beta, and the output resistance will get decreased by a gain of 1 plus a beta. Now coming to current amplifier, where you're having input output both as a current signal. Okay, the gain of the amplifier will be I naught by II, and beta will be IF by I naught, and the overall gain of the negative feedback system will be I naught by IS. Here in this case, there will be improvement in the input impedance as it will get reduced by a factor of 1 plus A beta, and the output will get increased by a factor of 1 plus A beta, which is desirable. Similarly, if you go for series resistance, that is transconductance, that means input will be voltage and the output will be current. Okay, in this case also, both the input resistance and the output resistance, or the impedance, you can say better way, you can say impedance gets increased by a factor of 1 plus A beta. Okay, at last, for shunt resistance or a resistance amplifier, where the input is current and the voltage is and the output is voltage, in that case both the impedance and the output resistance get attenuated by a factor of 1 plus A beta, or it's get decreased by a factor of 1 plus A beta. That is again a desirable thing. Okay, the thing is that overall we can see that if we use a negative feedback configuration for different topologies, okay, that is well suited for that system. For example, if we take a series shunt topology for a voltage amplifier, if we choose a shunt series for a current amplifier, if we choose a series for transconductance amplifier, and if we choose a shunt for a trans-resistor amplifier, in that case what we are having, it is improving the input impedance and output impedance of the circuit. Okay, so actually the feedback system, whatever this is coming, the resultant of the feedback system is actually improving the input and output impedance of the amplifier as compared where there is no feedback available. Clear? So this is your discussions and the analysis of the different feedback topologies. Okay, any issues you can ask me. Go through these videos and notes, and if you find any issues, feel free to ask.